This is the best smartphone in the world right now, and it has a serious problem. You won't buy the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, even though it can take pictures like this. It can even replace your PC for many tasks. And it has an embedded S Pen. Now, I'm not saying you won't buy it because you can't afford the 28,000 Rand. I'm saying you won't buy it because Samsung has a diversity problem. If you want the latest and greatest innovation and want to financially flex on all of your homies, then you should buy a folding phone. If you want a reliable smartphone that can go all day on a charge and give you everything you need, get the A53. It's only the OG Note users who will find no other device on the market that can compete with the S22 Ultra's feature set. I said in my S22 Plus review that the S22 Ultra has almost killed the S line. You see, this thing is so far ahead of its siblings with regards to performance and camera capability that it's almost wrong to call this a Galaxy S. It is a Note by another name. The biggest difference between it and its smaller siblings, because the other siblings are smaller, comes in the way that Samsung has chosen to cool this problematic Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor. In the standard S22s, the S22 and the S22 Plus, you get glitchy, stuttering performance that is just a horrible user experience. The Ultra, on the other hand, is effortless in its ability to just chew through anything and everything that I threw at it. If you're South African and you caught that last bit, yes, Samsung South Africa has secured all the Qualcomm shopkeeping units for our region. We usually get Exynos SKUs down in the south, so this is a big improvement. So where do you see the biggest difference? In battery endurance and in camera image signal processing. So your mileage may vary, but I've been getting to bed every night not having to worry whether or not this thing is plugged in or if it's aligned correctly on the wireless charger. The only downside of this battery situation is trying to keep it topped up. I cannot use the full potential of my 60-watt wall charger. The other area where the S22 Ultra really breaks away from its siblings is with the coatings on these camera lenses. These new lens coatings do very well to try and combat some of those flares that has been evident, that has been a signature of the Samsung photography experience over the last couple of years. So Samsung's also obsessed with the idea of low light photography, which it calls. But that's more just a marketing push rather than actual technical accomplishment. Because when the lights go down, this thing doesn't change the game at all. It's maybe second best phone in low light that I've tested so far. But in good light, this thing can be a mobile photographer's dream. I snapped this picture of my mother-in-law at her birthday lunch, which was in the shade of this giant ancient oak tree, and the lighting was just perfect. So she was all the way at the other side of a 12 seating placement table. So I said in my S22 written review that the 3x zoom lens is my favorite of the bunch, and yes, it is my favorite here too. Wow, did I just actually blow up my entire thesis about how the S22 Ultra is different from the siblings? Yes, I did. So it's a photography champ, but on the video side, there are still some of those issues that Samsung really needs to start sorting out now, instead of wasting time with 8K and nightography and all other marketing gimmicks. Consistent shutter speed and quick clearing of the sensor. That's what Samsung really needs to hone in on for the next iteration. But this is all mostly a problem of the brute force approach Samsung has taken to solve those camera problems. So it's given you one of the biggest sensors on a phone, but then made it 108 megapixels, and then does all these AI trickery things and software gimmicks to bring that down to 12 megapixel quality. So this is fine for still images, but you're still going to get very erratic shutter lag. But video, unfortunately, doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room to wave that magic AI wand over the footage. And while I capital letters love the Expert RAW app, it's deeply frustrating to have to download that app separately, doesn't come on the phone, and then I can't launch it quickly with a double tap of the power button. And then confusingly, there's still a pro mode in the main camera app that can also give you RAWs. So like, pick a lane, Samsung. Look, I love this phone so much that I've spent the last 2 months just trying to figure out things I hate about it. From a design perspective, it's a true return to form from the horror show that was that S21 Ultra that overheated all the time. But leaning into that Note legacy is also the biggest curse for the S22 Ultra. And because it's so expensive, it's easy for cynical tech reporters like me to find its obvious flaws. One is that there are other camera systems on other phones that cost less, that can give you the same or even better performance in certain situations. Then there's devices like this from Samsung's own stable that's cheaper, gives you about 90% of the same camera experience you're going to be getting here, and does 95% of all the phone things that you wanted to do as well. And you'll realize I didn't really mention the S Pen at all, even though I'm super happy that it's back. That's because while I love this device and I've always been a Note user, I also have this. And this in my personal gadget ecosystem that is far bigger to write notes on, has a better kind of pen experience, and is a bigger screen for when I want to watch content. So I'm not a Galaxy Note user anymore because Samsung decided to take a year off of this form factor. And you know what? The world kept spinning and we all kept it moving. This is still the best Android phone in the world. If you are looking for something that does a little bit of everything very, very well. For everybody else, there are other devices. But that's just my opinion. I'm Lindsay. Thank you for watching.